Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to One Piece, episodes 938 to 941. Yeah, we're not done with One Piece yet. We just had that big old One Piece week, but we're still chugging on. We've still got to get caught up. I mentioned on Twitter, or on not Twitter, Discord, that if we continue the route we're going with 4 episodes a week and everything, we should be caught up by the beginning of May. Also, assuming that there's no like weeks off for the airing of the series or anything. So we should be caught up by the end of or the beginning of May, and it should be like perfect. Like the one we catch up on will be the fourth episode of that video. So it's just working perfectly. Again, if there's no like episodes off, weeks off and everything. But yeah, we've had a lot of stuff going on. We have Luffy, and Old Man Hio taking on Queen's sumo fight and kind of dominating it, to be honest. While at the same time, Luffy is using the opportunity to train with his haki and everything, and utilize it kind of in a similar way that Hio utilizes it. We have Zoro with Hiyori and Toko, and they're just kind of out in the middle of nowhere while Zoro had been trying to get his sword back. He got injured while fighting the killer. I can't think of his name right now. It mentioned it. Like I remembered it plenty last time. I just can't think of it right now. But yeah, the crazy killer with all the bandages on his face and everything. Eustace Kid escaped, and we haven't really seen anything from him again yet. Everyone else seems to be at what is the name of the town? Ebisu Town. Ebisu Town, which is where the Smiley people are at. And Law kind of got angry after fighting with the Kunoichi, whose name I also cannot think of at the moment. I'm still getting the names down, so it's like I'll kind of blank on them from time to time here. But they fought, and she said some things she shouldn't have, and Law kind of stormed off. Things are kind of still in the like calm between storms here. We kind of just got out of things, and we're definitely going to be going back into some heavy shit soon. But we're going to just have to see where these episodes go. I have a lot of hope because Wano Act 1 was phenomenal, and so far Act 2 has been pretty great as well. I'm really loving Hiyori as a character. I loved her even back when we still knew her as Komurasaki. But I'm definitely loving her even after that as well. I love Toko and everything. Yeah, just I'm really loving where this is going. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see where it goes from here, what happens, and hopefully it ends up being just as good, if not better, than Act 1. And Act 3 just recently started, actually. Like, I think, like, the series currently where it's at is, like, less than 10 episodes into Act 3. So it's like, it's just started. I don't know about the manga, mind you, but... So, Act 2 is pretty much going to be most of the rest of our watch through here until we get caught up. Once we get caught up, we'll be in Act 3 and everything. And I'm like I said, I'm excited. I'm interested to see how this act ends, because I doubt they're going to have another massive battle like they had at the end of Act 1, especially one with Kaido. Maybe it'll involve a big battle with Big Mom, because she's like their group is still on the way to the prison in Udon as well. and she doesn't have her memory at the moment. But the point when she sees Luffy might change that, unless the red bean soup distracts her enough, um, which Luffy and them do have. So, and also Caribou's still there. I'm still wondering like what role he's gonna have to play. I'm still just I'm still at this point in shock that he's back. I did not expect him, and I still love how they brought him back. It's just like he's in prison. I don't know what that was about, but it's like, oh yeah, it's just showing a panning shot of the people in the prison. All of a sudden, Caribou's just there. It's like he's just there. Like, no, I'm still, I'm still losing it about that. Just how he was brought back. Um, but yeah, I'm interested to see what more we got with these 4 episodes. So we're going to get into it. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Over the years, basically ever since I started watching this show, there are certain moments that no matter how many times I watch them, always make me cry. When Luffy puts his hat, his treasure, on Nami's head in Arlong Park and promises her that he's going to help. When the Straw Hats give their final message and goodbye to Vivi, holding up their arms with the X on them. When Robin cries out, "I want to live." Mary's death. And just more recently, jumping way forward, when I thought Otama had died. And now, before it revealed the truth about the smiles, before it actually revealed it, while Toko was still like running to the capital and everything, there was one prevailing thought going through my head the entire time. When I was still believing that these smiles were a conscious thing that the people were putting on, there was one thought going through my head. That was, that if anyone dared take her precious smile away, that would be it for me. That I would lose it, and that would be the point, the last bit needed to confirm something for me, which I'll get to in a minute. But then we found out the truth. They couldn't even give the fucking courtesy of letting the smile be taken away. Poor Toko had to watch her father die executed by firing squad. And she couldn't even grieve. Orochi couldn't even give her the courtesy. Any of them from Ebisu Town. I'm trying hard not to break down again here, but so it changed from what I originally thought. And it was no longer about taking her precious smile away. The fact that Orochi made it so that it couldn't even be taken away in the first place, that she couldn't properly express her grief at seeing her father murdered in front of her. Well, it wasn't what I originally expected, and it wasn't the initial qualifier going through my head. It definitely counted in the end. And without question, Orochi and Kaido, as the combined major villains of this arc, are without doubt my most hated villains in One Piece, and two of my most hated villains, period, in anime. Nearly killing Otama, the horrific curse that they put on these people with the smile fruits. And specifically, the pain we just watched Toko have to go through because of it all. And the reason for this, the reason why it hit me so hard, the reason why this has joined all of those moments that make me cry hard in this series and make me extremely emotional, more so than most stuff in this series, is because of how much effort was put into making these two young girls, Otama and Toko, so damn lovable. There was so much effort into making us care for these girls, making us fall in love with them. I kind of already noted about it, but it's like the entire idea a lot of people in anime and other fandoms use about protecting that smile. People say that and use that about characters that they've grown to love so much, that they care about and want to see happy. Characters who deserve the world and who deserve to smile and be happy. The only difference here is that Toko can't help it, that she can't show any other emotion. All the people of Ebisu Town, all of them who are suffering and who are miserable and in so much pain, seeing this beloved figurehead of their village brutally murdered. And they can't even show their sorrow. They are forced, through the side effects of the smile fruit, to laugh, to smile, to show a false sense of joy. And Orochi, in the midst of it, starts dancing and laughing and encouraging them. He starts celebrating in their pain, knowing what he's done to them. And then there's Yasu himself. Besides just the truth about who he was, which I'll get to, but I mentioned it like when it was getting ready to happen. I was not sure if they were actually going to go through with killing him. Because One Piece for a long time, for a lot of its run, has had this thing where it won't actually kill characters. Oda has had a lot of fans have actually kind of joked about that entire thing, about how certain characters should have died and didn't. Um, but they're already showing us in this arc, especially, that they're willing to kill. Oda is showing us that characters killing others is fully going to be a part of this. And it's not always going to be like super constant and heavy, and not every death is going to actually stick, like Komurasaki's or slash Shiori's, whatever you want to call her. But again, the difference there was that her death was very obviously faked. It was super blatantly obvious from all of the context behind that death scene that she was not dead. The difference here is we saw Toniyasu have that shit ton of bullets railed into him over and over and over, constantly being hailed with bullets. We saw the wounds of where the bullets had exploded out of his back, the blood pouring out of him as his lifeless corpse lays there on the ground, the ropes that were holding him up having been broken by the bullets as well. The difference here is this is one of those deaths that is very obviously a death. It's not debatable that he died. And the thing here is as well, it's also obvious they're not going to bring him back. That it's not going to be a thing like where Oda like does like with Pell in Alabasta, where it's like, oh yeah, he got blown up by the bomb, but nope, somehow he survived. He doesn't even know how, but he survived. But that was also done because of the time of when that chapter came out and everything. I'm not going to get into the full thing here, but it was very close to 9/11. Let's put it that way. And so, yeah, there was actually a reason why that death had to be reversed. But One Piece has done that a lot elsewhere. Um, but it's super obvious this death is going to stick and it matters. The amount of time that's put into it, into the grieving afterwards as well, the amount of focus that was put into the scenes leading up to and right before the death, this is a death that matters. And it was put there to show us how evil Orochi and Kaido are. And it's going to fuel the future of this arc. But there's also the truth about who Yasu is. Yasu was a former daimyo during Odin's reign. And on top of that, he was Odin's best friend a brother to him in the same way that Luffy is brothers with Ace and Sabo, not by blood, but by declaration, by bond. He had that with Odin, who we got to really see here for the first time. Although there was still a little bit of shadow. It's like I don't fully know why, but yeah, we got to actually see a bit of most of him there. Which again, as I said in the reaction, I did know what he looked like already. Um, so we find out who he was, and that he had been presumed dead, and he didn't even know how he survived, but he kept living. And after everything happened in Ebisu Town with everyone getting the smile fruits, he began to help out as much as he could with them. And that's another truth we learned, the smile fruits. We found out why they're called smiles, because of their side effect. The side effect that they can have for those who don't gain the abilities. The 90% who don't gain the abilities of these smiles. And the smiles that Orochi and Kaido had already used to create the pleasures were just thrown in with leftover food for the people of Ebisu Town. And it's like they were literally given this curse by Orochi because he was upset that they grieved, because he was upset that they were upset. It's so fucked up in every possible way. And it very clearly seems like this is going to be the turning point for Shuten Maru, aka Ashura Doji. After Holden burned down their land, and he saw Yasu murdered while standing alongside his old allies. It's like this is the turning point for him, I feel. And it's absolutely fucked up and horrible that this has to be the turning point for him, but I don't know what I was expecting with these episodes. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. I wasn't expecting 4 episodes that were pretty much solely dedicated to one specific plot line. For one, that just worked out that it was just like all 4 episodes were so dedicated to specifically this plot point. But I also didn't expect Yasu's death. I didn't expect the reveal of the smile fruits, or that Yasu was that connected to Odin. Like it was clear before that he had some connection to them. We just didn't know what it was. But to be that connected, to have been to bonded brothers with Odin, that's insane. And now we get into what's going to happen next. Zoro and Sanji have saved Toko, thank God, because Orochi was about to kill her as well because of his misplaced blame. Like, God, when he was about to kill her, like I figured she would be saved, like like killing Yasu's one thing, but if they killed off, if Oda killed off Toko, like I I don't think that would have gone well with fans. I feel like fans would have really been upset at that. Like actually, like not just upset in terms of oh yeah, this sucks that an awesome child character was killed like that, but I think that would actually like legitimately upset people. So it was obvious that she was going to be saved, but at that point I was like I was grief stricken and I was horrified and I was so I was just kind of in this state of shock. So it's like I wasn't even thinking about it as clearly as I could have been, and I just kind of like I was freaking out and I was so fucking scared. Like even though thinking about it, it's like yeah, I wouldn't think she would be killed. It's like she could still be very much injured. Like Oda showed that he's not afraid to have these bad guys hurt children. Like we saw that with Tama. And it's like I'm just glad she's okay. But she's not okay. She again, she just this poor young girl just watched her father get murdered in front of the entire country for the sake of basically making a point. I hope that when they get out of there and wherever they go, that Hiyori and or anyone else just just gives Toko the biggest, most comforting hug, and that they just hold her close and be there for her. It's like, and that part where she ran in there, like when she actually ran into the, like through the gate fence, whatever you want to call it, and then tried to use the toad oil on him. It's like, oh my god, that was hard. And I don't blame Usopp. Like I'm not trying to blame Usopp for that, like because of him making her think that the toad oil would work and everything. That Usopp would have never done something like that. To it, the situation is just so fucked. But the weird thing is, and I'm gonna finish off on this because I don't think I can talk about this anymore. I'm gonna finish off on this. The weirdest part of it is that despite how much pain I am in over it all, this these episodes, this death, the Toko's tears, everything, all of this was handled so fucking perfectly. It was handled so fucking well that I can't help but call it one of my favorite moments in this series. Not out of enjoyment, but the opposite. Out of crushing sorrow, out of pain. But because of how well it was done, I can't deny how much of an impact it left on me just watching it right here. And how big of a deal just that scene was for me. So when I say it's like one of my favorite scenes in the series, it's not, again, it's not out of enjoyment necessarily. It's out of respect for how well it was done. Whether you consider the original writing that Oda did for the manga, the original writing and everything that created that moment, or just the way it was handled in the anime with the voice acting, the music, the camera work, as you would call it, I guess, the scene work, because there's no cameras per se, but you know what I mean. How bloody fucking brilliantly it was executed here. Poor choice of words. How well it was like handled is nothing short of perfection. There would have been no better way to handle these scenes. No better way to show the grief and the pain that the people of Ebisu Town and Toko were going through. The anger of Zoro. The just horrific reality of the smiles and Orochi's reign. There is no better way, and I am fully convinced of that this could have been handled. And I specifically mean, and again, including with all of the animation, the colorations, the the audio, including the voice acting, especially. It's because of those things, especially, that is what causes me to praise it so heavily. And if it didn't confirm it before, it's definitely confirming it here that Wano is my new favorite arc of the series. And who knows where it's going to go from here? Like, God. I trust that it's going to keep up this level of quality at this point, but just the exact things that are going to happen, I have no clue. But like I said, I'm going to end it here because I want to move on and do other stuff right now. Tell me in the comments below what you thought of these episodes of One Piece. And thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.